Welcome, Scotch drinkers. This week on Men on Scotch, we'll be reviewing the Glenlivet Founders Edition, the entry-level Scotch to the Glenlivet Scotch line.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Men on Scotch. This week we're doing Glenlivet Founders Reserve. So Glenlivet Founders Reserve is going to be the entry level for Glenlivet, replacing the 12-year in 2015. And tell us a little bit about it.
Hi, laddie.
Oh, God.
I know.
So
sorry.
great.
I know. Sorry.
Yeah.
But I had to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Had to do it. So, Glenlivet Founders Edition basically replaces a non-age statement. Does not have a year. It is matured for X amount of years in a cask, but it's basically the if you wanted to dip your toe and you couldn't afford the 12 price, this is the...
Which is $5 more.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Right.
But
there's some that are bargain basement that are looking for like the cheapest Scotch, or maybe you're trying to get into like the first, like you said, dipping your toes into to Scotch.
It is a single malt, though.
Okay. So before, a couple weeks ago, we did the Battle of Blends, and that was blended Scotch, which is a little bit of blended single malt Scotch into one Scotch. This is a single malt, single distillery in Scotland.
Yeah. And Glenlivet's one of the most recognizable names in the Scotch world. I mean,
this is actually what got me into it.
Yeah, Glenlivet. I mean, it's you can't go into any bar anywhere in the civilized world and you not see at least Glenlivet 12.
Okay.
It is a space side.
Okay.
All right, fruity. It's one of the most popular Scotches from the regions. Space side, and we'll cover that. The
yeah, we're gonna actually do a whole video
Yes.
on the regions in Scotland.
So stay tuned.
So definitely
don't run away.
Yeah.
So this is still, it's a creamy finish. That's what they're saying. It's even on the bottle it says 1824. So they're proud of their heritage.
Okay.
And you can't really go wrong with Glenlivet. If you are new to Scotch, it's hard to beat Glenlivet. It's a very first-time drinker friendly.
Okay.
All right.
Great. Awesome.
You're not gonna get hit by any weird.
Yeah, I mean,
things.
so this is actually what got me into Scotch
Sure.
originally. A buddy of mine bought me one of these, and it pretty much changed my life. This is something that I would come home to, and this is what I was drinking until then you introduced me to some other lines there, and then I went and actually
the pre-honey.
Right, this is post honey.
Never let it go.
And yeah, I could see that. Let it go, man.
Gotta let that go.
So this actually got me into it, and I've since then tried a couple other Scotches, and now have a different palate. But this is amazing for first timers, for novices trying to get into Scotch, or trying to get a low budget Scotch that's best bang for your buck. This is definitely the way to go with the Founders Reserve.
Yeah, to be fair, it's interesting if you put this Glenlivet next to the Glenlivet 12, which maybe we should do with that one day.
Yeah,
and the flavor profiles are a little bit different. So they really definitely went. This is let me see this is a 40% by alcohol volume. All right, so entry level.
Right.
And let's stop talking and start drinking.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Here we go with my amateur pouring
Ooh,
skills.
I like that. That's
So the boonk, the boonk. Yeah, definitely like the boonk. Oh, look at that. Whoops.
Bastard.
Yeah. Whoops.
You violated my bottle,
I
Larry.
did pour a little too much.
You know what?
And you matched me.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
All right. Great. This is not a traditional.
It's not a drum,
So yeah, this is definitely not a drammer. The traditional shot of whiskey. This is definitely an overpour, but that's fine.
I smell orange.
Oh man, so this is compared to a couple other videos that we've done. This, and I think I stated this on our last video. The Scotch just, man, when you smell it, the aromas immediately immerse you. It's just unbelievable.
And let me talk about that a little bit because we haven't mentioned it in any of our videos. So if you're wondering what this is a Glencairn. So basically, a Glencairn is a whiskey drinking glass.
Okay.
And supposedly what it does is, if you notice the curved nature of it, it kind of brings the aroma forefront right
To the
at
top.
the top.
Yeah.
So when you smell, it allowed you to smell because part of your tasting always goes your smell.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna put a link on the description down below. All right, it's on Amazon where you can
Yep.
get these. They're very economical. They're not expensive at all. But if you want to become a single malt drinker and you're not drinking with ice and you just want to get to know the whiskey in and of itself, you know what? This is a great glass.
Okay.
And we should have one of those days, whiskey versus non-whiskey.
Absolutely.
Excuse me, ice and whiskey.
Okay, yeah. Well, we're gonna do a whole separate video on
Sure.
how to drink whiskey and how you can drink whiskey.
Look at the
But
leg.
right now we're going to drink whiskey.
Drink whiskey.
Yeah. Man, I like that.
Malty.
Very
Definitely
malty. So here's the thing. Since I've tried this, originally that was like the coup de grace for me. Since I've tried other whiskeys, Monkey Shoulder,
Monkey shoulder.
I've done a couple other whiskeys. I noticed that this one now has, at least to me, a little less smooth of a profile. And in my opinion, smoothness is basically this, and this is how I determine smoothness for me. When you drink it, the bite, the
bite.
aromas, the alcohol bite, the aromas, how smooth it is to drink without reacting to it. And again, as a novice, this is something that a lot of first timers experience. Novice, and
Navel.
potato. So what a lot of entry level whiskey drinkers, what they do is they'll drink the whiskey and then they'll react to it, and it'll either be too strong or it won't be strong enough or whatnot. This and that's where because I'm still getting into this, determine how smooth the whiskey is to me. So to me, this used to be very smooth because my flavor profile has changed due to other scotches that I've tried. This one is now a little less smooth to me, but it's still not bad, as an everyday whiskey.
I will tell you something. I think it's not that you don't notice it's smooth. But here's the thing. This is aged in first fill American oak bourbon casks.
Okay.
Right? First fill, meaning right when they get the barrel from the bourbon manufacturers, they use the scotch, they pour it in there, and that's what they use. Some scotch manufacturers use the barrel over and over again, and that's fine. But in this case, that's what they use.
Right.
Strictly, that's what they say. First fill. So what you're getting, I think, is part of that spiciness from the barrel. There is a little bit of spiciness to this.
Okay.
Almost akin to a little bit of a bourbon. You sometimes taste that spicy note. It's not that the alcohol is not really high to
Right.
really hit you. And sometimes that can be misleading because I have tasted scotches that are 60 proof, cask strength, more than that later.
Right.
And you don't notice it. As the alcohol is, you don't notice it as strong as this. So I think what you're tasting, in my opinion, is probably the spiciness of the ex-bourbon cask. But still, it's the aroma's good.
No, the aroma's amazing.
Yeah.
I love the Glenlivet line. The aromas on these are really, really.
It says toffee. One of the things, toffee. You smell
I can
toffee?
taste a little bit of toffee there. I taste it and smell it.
But I do notice a lot of orange. Like smell it. No, not taste. Smell.
I taste it,
not
definitely.
smell. Yeah.
Yeah, you can taste. You can smell a little bit of the top, a little bit of the orange. The malt is.
Malt is
The
part
malt protrudes a little on this one a little bit more than the other ones
Yes.
that we've tried.
The malt, you know what? I almost want to say it's monkey shoulder-esque.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Monkey Shoulder to me is a little bit smoother than this.
Well, that's because it's
You
a
know.
blend, but like the maltiness. I'm
Oh
talking
yes, correct. Yes. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah,
about-
absolutely.
Like you really taste the maltiness on this. So
I mean, this one I'm gonna give, in my opinion, I'm gonna give, I'll give it a 3.5 stars.
I agree.
on-
I'll give it
on
3.
that, yeah.
A solid 3. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this.
No,
It's
absolutely not.
It is 20, I believe it's not. It's $29.99, and the price between this and a 12. And this is where
Yeah, the 12's like 35.
Yes.
So it's like a $5 difference between the two.
it.
In my opinion, it's
I'll go
worth the
12.
$5 to go
I
to
agree.
12. You know what I
I-
mean?
look-
But for gifting, this is great. You know,
Yeah.
if you're budgeting for gifting, this is perfect. And
I-
it was gifted to me, so you know what I mean.
I agree.
It's you're not going to be giving somebody's anything, bad or bad bad tasting or anything.
Yeah.
It's just different from the 12.
I guess when they did this, I wanted to do something on the sub 30, but to be quite, I mean, and price is subjective depending
Right.
on the place you
Yeah, of
live.
course. It
But
depends on where you're at.
I mean, if I was to buy this, I'd rather spend the extra 5 on the 12.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. You know what? Next time we should have the Glen Explorer versus Glen 12 and talk about the differences.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Have a
Yeah,
battle
because
of the Glenlivets.
I think that when it decided to go entry level, and I think I felt like Glenlivet shoehorned this in there, and kind of like there's not enough like separation in
Right.
price to say, well, yeah, $5 will break the bank.
Right.
I mean, maybe for some people would, but
No, you're right.
it's not like this was like, for example, 1999 and then Glen 12 is 35. That's a substantial difference. You know, that in that case, I'll be like, well, you know, wow, this is quite a bit expensive. But no, it's $5 in our region.
Right.
Maybe in another region it'll be quite different. But
Well, yeah, you never know. But I mean, honestly, for the money, I'll spend the extra 5 and get the 12.
Yep.
I personally like 12-year age statements or age statement with scotches. So I mean, I would go for the 12 over this. Not downplaying this at all. It's a great scotch. It's a great beginner scotch.
Yep.
I personally have a different flavor palette than most people. So that's where my opinion lies on this one. It's not a bad whiskey, but it's not something that I'll go to
Yeah.
over like the 12-year.
But don't let it fool you. Sometimes even age statement, it's not that. Sometimes the age statement doesn't dictate flavor. Sometimes, I mean, you can find a good blend that you might even outdo the age statement.
Right.
Take a look at or if you saw our bargain bottom Scotch blended Scotch then.
Oh, the Grants. Oh yeah, man, the Grants was amazing, and it
For the
honestly,
money?
yeah, for the money for the what,
I mean,
$11.99.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was on sale, so $15. So $16 is
Still.
tax. I mean, really.
It stood up to most of the
Yeah.
12 years
Yeah,
I've tried.
for
so,
sure.
yeah.
To be honest, it was one of my surprises. In fact, I would recommend it to people if you were throwing a party.
Right.
Obviously, you're not gonna bring out.
No. Yeah, it's perfect to let everybody drink that, and then you come and.
You
crack
could buy
it
the
for everybody else.
1.7. You could buy a couple of you could buy 4 or 5 1.75 liter bottles for under $100. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Absolutely. So that's our take on the Glenlivet Founders Reserve.
Yep.
Tune into us next week, and we'll have another video cranked out for you. Like always, subscribe, comment down below if you have any questions, and if you see anything that we did wrong or if we said anything wrong, make sure you put it in the comment section, and we will battle you because, again, we are very, very petty, and we'll go ahead and do that.
With knives.
Yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned next week for one of our next videos, and as always,
Stay drinking.
I can drink to that.